Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I found a few articles talking about the turbine that was sent by the Russians to Canada to be fixed, the Siemens turbine. And President of Ukraine Zelensky, actually most of the officials from Ukraine complained about this turbine being fixed by the Canadians and sent back to Russia. I made a few videos, I think two of them regarding the logic on having that turbine fixed, and then I would say ill intent, or at least the bad argument coming from the Ukrainian leadership to try to prevent that turbine to be fixed by the Canadians, that would have resulted certainly in less gas for Germany. I was making the point that if the turbine is not fixed, the Germans will be freezing this winter. Therefore, the Germans who helped the Ukrainians should be entitled to have a decent winter. Even though I think they will have shortages and whatnot. But Zelensky is very disappointed with the fact that Canada allowed the German population to have some gas this winter, which I think it's evil. The same thing is true for the United States of America, who backs Canada and Germany on this matter, saying in this article coming from The Hill, from July 11th, Blinken backs Canadian move to help Germany import natural gas from Russia. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Monday said that U.S. supported Canada for its decision to help Germany import natural gas from Russia, despite global sanctions aimed at bankrupting the Kremlin over its war in Ukraine. Canada's government had earlier said it would provide a sanctions exemption and return a turbine that was undergoing repairs in the country to Germany for use in the Nord Stream 1 pipeline, which is the biggest gas line bringing natural gas from Russia to Europe, not Europe yet. And I'm quoting, in the short term, the turbine will allow Germany and other European countries to replenish their gas reserves, increasing their energy security and resiliency, and countering Russia's efforts to weaponize energy, Blinken said in a statement. The pipeline was shut down Monday to undergo repairs for an estimated 10 days. Concerns have raised in Europe that Russia could exploit the shutdown to hold hostage countries that sanction Moscow for its aggression in Ukraine. Now, the turbine issue illustrates the challenge Europe faces in decoupling from Russia's energy sector as it tries to deprive Moscow of key reserves it can use to fund its nearly 5-month war in Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. But Canada Minister of Natural Resources Jonathan Wilkinson said the turbine will be under a time-limited and revocable permit to access reliable and affordable energy as they continue to transport away from Russian oil and gas. However, the Ukrainian government said it was deeply disappointed in a decision by Canada to return the turbine, hoping that the Germans will be freezing this winter. To return the turbine, saying the sanctions exempt is a response to the victims of Russia and came on the same day as the Russian shelling on blah blah blah. Okay, the transfer of the Nord Stream 1 turbine will allow Russia to continue the use of energy as a tool to hybrid war against Europe, the Ukrainian. Yeah, okay. Like Russia placed sanctions on Europe, not Europe on Russia. That's stupid. Anyway, what I will say is this. Ukraine sometimes overplays her hand or its hand, thinking that, but they can, because they have what's his name, a Zelensky, and a Shirmal, or whatever his name is. So those guys. So these guys will Shmihal, that's what his name is. The Prime Minister, Zelensky and the Shmihal, two of the same kind. And obviously they don't care if the Germans die. I mean, that would be a payback probably for the Second World War, I'm guessing. I'm just exaggerating, but not. The thing is, this mentality of, you should hurt those guys, but you hurt yourself in the same time by helping me. Yeah, I expect you to have, to care about my people, but I don't care about your people. Nevertheless, this is something that I think Ukraine found out. They found out that after all, they are just a small country that has no importance actually to the Western countries. A country that is used to destroy a bigger fish, to fry a bigger fish. In this case, this is Russia. And they thought that they could somehow, blackmail by backing Canada and Germany into some guilt. That sometimes it works. And the big country said, you know what, Ukraine, you're just a lower bottom feeder than we are. And we are in the club like a little bit higher than you are. And you should shut up. So basically this is what this is. Yes, there are sanctions. So if you go by the sanctions, this turbine should not have been fixed. But as I mentioned before, the world, and not the world, your company doesn't work that way. And you're going to find out, if you're old enough, that whenever some people break some rules, regulations, policies in your company, if they are the right people, those, how should I put it, those situations will be forgotten and fixed, and they will be, the rules and regulations and policy will be bent and forgotten just because of those people by some decision makers. So actually the policies are made over there just as a guidance, but the decision makers can change them actively whenever they want. The same here. Obviously, Ukraine said, oh, you can't do that, these are sanctions. And the big dogs here, which is, let's say, I'm going to call Canada a big dog, which, anyway, Canada, Germany, and United States decided to look at Ukraine and say, shut the fuck up, go back there, we're going to fuck you up, you're going to be used as you've been used for the past 5 months. You do your own part, don't overstep your little role that you have over there to play, your little part. And basically they said we can change whatever rules, we can violate whatever rules, because it's not about rules, it's about power, it's about dominance, and whatever it takes. For stupids, yeah, it can look at, oh my god, we play sanctions. You see, these sanctions are pick and choose, situational sanctions, like, oh, we're gonna sanction Russia. Okay, if you really meant to do that, you would say no more buying oil, gas, coal, nothing from Russia right now. But it doesn't work that way. It's situational, and it depends who's doing that. They yelled about how do you call those, Hungarians, you still buy this from Russia, you still do this. And the Germans have been doing that for the whole time. But the Germans are the guys who are allowed. The Hungarians are a little lower than the bottom feeders. So no, they can't. They are not allowed. So this is the way the world works. And your companies that you work for, unless you have your company. And if you have your own company, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can make your own rules. It's called discretion. When a law enforcement officer stops you, or police officer or a cop stops you on the highway or wherever it stops, he has that called discretion. So he can use a discretion to let you go, give you a verbal warning, or fine you, or maybe arrest you, or revoke your license, or whatever he might or she might think necessary. But that idea of has a discretion. The same thing with the big company. Discretion is up to the guy to do whatever he or she feels like according to the circumstance. So Ukraine thought that they can just how should I put it, pressure these guys into following Sanctions. They didn't know that these guys do actually whatever they want. This is just for show. Well, it's not that they were disappointed, because I don't think these guys are really novice in what they're doing. I'm talking about Ukrainians. I think they know exactly. They just had to pay a role, you know. Oh, we're disappointed. Okay, now let's go and eat some sushi. They didn't give a fuck, actually. Well, nevertheless, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and see, they support one another. And you guys just go. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya.